Wow, it has been quite the month. Let me get you caught up to speed. So we opened the sales page for our first ever live design retreat. It is open to the public. It's going to be held at the Mayhurst Estate in the fall in Virginia. But the deal is there's only 30 tickets left. It's going really, really fast. There's only 4 rooms left in the estate. It's a 4-day retreat that I'm hosting, and there will be every detail you can imagine is thought through. We have live workshops and live teaching, and I'm so excited to meet so many of you. So that's going on. Number 2, the Elite Decorating Academy is almost done being created. I have 16 days left. I'm working almost around the clock getting this thing finished. It's so good though. I'm so excited about it. It's a comprehensive course teaching interior design, what I learned in school, what I wish I would have learned in school, all of that bundled together in these bite-sized pieces that you can work your way through on your own time, wherever you are. You can do 15 minutes a day, whatever you need to do to get through and be totally confident in your decorating, and even take clients if you aren't already. I am so excited. This is a dream come true. I've been working on this course for 4 years and it is about to be done. So that's going on. And the last thing, because that's not really enough, we are opening my inner circle. We always open it at the end of March. It's called Behind the Scenes, and it's a lot more hands-on, same decorating information, but it goes way slower than the Elite Decorating Academy, and it's really hands-on, and we have a Bible study, and there's a lot of community that I love about that group. It's just different. All these products are really different, but I'm trying to fill different needs with where people are at and what they're needing. So that's very exciting. My cup runneth over. Other than that, I'm pulling a video that has been archived that I recently rewatched. I really like the information in it. I feel like there's enough value that I want to reshare this video and answer 9 of your top decorating questions. So without further ado, enjoy. Hello my dears, this is Sarah from sheholdsdearly.com, and today I want to answer some of the top questions I get about interior design. So let's get started. So I think that you can mix metals, and I keep it to 2 different metals. Some designers will say 3. I'm more comfortable with 2 different metals, and I suggest not using 2 different types of silvers because they have different undertones. So for instance, nickel and chrome have different undertones. Chrome has a blue undertone. When you put it next to nickel, nickel has a gold undertone, and so they clash. So I would say you can use 2 or 3 depending on who you listen to, but then I would have really good contrast. So black metal with gold, or silver with black, something like that. And then also I do think it looks nice when you split your room in half horizontally, and you have everything on the bottom half is one of those metals, and then everything on the top half is the other metal. So maybe in a bathroom, all of your hardware is black, but then your sink, faucet, and your lighting has gold. Okay, so wood tones are the same. I still would stick to 2, and I would create really good contrast. So if you want like a really dark wood, that can look really pretty with raw wood. I currently love raw wood, and I'm working towards getting all of my rooms really focused on just having a concentration of raw wood. The other thing I would say though with that is I kind of cheat sometimes and will do like a 1.5. So say the whole room is raw wood, but then there's these dark pieces of furniture, and I'll do a color wash on them. You paint it with chalk paint, and then you take a wet rag and you wipe it off, especially like on the front, the faces of drawers and doors, cabinet doors. You kind of smudge out the middle section, and so this darker wood is peeking through. So yes, the piece of furniture technically is painted, but you can see some dark wood coming through just for some richness and accents. Okay, so that's a really common issue, especially in our houses that are newer and have these great rooms going on. And the answer is to zone your rooms. And you really want to start with rugs plopped down, nice big rugs, or flooring, you know, segregating the different activities going on in those spaces. So once you've got those figured, what you know what the activities are, and you have the flooring divided, then you bring in your furniture, and that's when you want to make sure there's a good flow. So the furniture needs to kind of coordinate on and feel like a bigger picture is going on. Furniture and colors needs to be flowing between these areas, but within those zones, you can do a lot of different things. You know, each space needs its own storage solutions. You might have floor lamps and plants that come up tall from standing on the floor. I really like to use lighting as well as rugs when I'm zoning. So even if the space is off center in the room, I still say hang a great pendant or a chandelier over that space, and that again will help create this little bubble of what's going on in that space. I am actually gonna go from least expensive to most expensive, and we're gonna go through this hierarchy that I go through when I'm actually trying to find an item. So first of all, I'm just gonna check my own house. I'm gonna shop my house because that's gonna be free, and always be willing to take hand-me-downs from friends and family. Then I'm gonna head into the thrift stores and the garage sales and see what I can find for a few dollars. Etsy and eBay are in some ways an online thrift store sometimes, so check those. Now, furniture is its own animal. So I am a fan of buying furniture used, and I suggest checking Craigslist, and you can be checking in morning and evening if you're really after a piece that you want a really good price on. Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, those types of kind of local, organic type secondhand places. I would check those for furniture. For the smaller furnitures like the end tables and stools and things, or single accent chairs, those are really good for discount stores, your Ross and your Marshalls or TJ Maxx, Tuesday Morning, At Home, Home Goods. Those types of stores have really great inexpensive pieces for kind of the filler pieces. And then from there I move on to the more like common things like World Market or Target or, you know, Walmart, any of these like a little bit higher end. And then finally I would land at something like Ballard Designs or Pottery Barn. Okay, now surprisingly there is a way to paint cloth chairs. It is to use chalk paint, and you water it way down, and then you soak your fabric, and then you work it in like a dye. And you want to dry in between coats. I've heard you need 3 coats, and then you will actually finish it with a clear wax, and it does not feel crunchy. If it does feel crunchy in any of the spots on the fabric, you want to just take a spray bottle with water and just wet it down again. You can totally paint your furniture. There's really 2 answers for the TV question. It is 1, if you can't beat them, join them. So incorporate it into your decorating, do a gallery wall around it. Or 2 would be to actually hide it, which is most common. And I have a whole blog post on this of my top 10 favorite ways to deal with a TV in a space that you can check out. But you can hang artwork over it, you can have the sliding doors, you could have a curtain. There's some really, really cute solutions out there. And then of course now they have these amazing TVs that actually look like artwork when they're just hanging there, and then you flip them on and they're a TV, which that is my favorite, but that's still a little pricey. I think as time goes on that will be a cheaper way to get a TV into a space that doesn't look like it's a TV. I do have 4 children and I have a farm and I have white furniture, and it freaks people out when they come through. They're like, how did you do that? I will say that my chairs that are not slip covered that are white are kept up in my room, and they are cleaned every couple years or whatever, but they do not deal with all of life that happens in my house. So I either suggest slipcovers, I'm a big fan of slipcovers, washing them like once a month, or I would say use leather. Leather's wonderful for cleaning up. Even wood, I mean, not that that's super cozy, but you know, where it works, have wood furniture. And then also explore furniture that has fabric on it that's outdoor fabric and that's weatherproof, because it's gonna meet the perfect storm. My favorite way to save money is to use paint. Paint, paint, paint. You can paint just about anything. So you can paint tile, you can paint your counters, you can paint, of course, furniture, walls, mantles, lights. You can make them look like faux wood. You can paint fabric. It just goes on and on and on. And paint is so inexpensive, and a lot of times the problem in the space is the coloring. So using paint to shake things up, like especially in like a bathroom, I mean, one of the best things you can do is just paint, oh, in kitchens too, paint the cabinetry. It's gonna be a huge bang for your buck. Next, I would get really comfortable with thrifting. So the places that I mentioned before, so garage sales and Craigslist and thrift stores, get comfortable looking through the different sections, know what you're looking for. I actually have a checklist that you can print out and take with you the next time you're thrifting to keep you on track and telling you how to find the best stuff and the best prices and things. And then finally, this is my third piece, and I know this is painful to hear, but if you can learn how to do some simple sewing, I do recommend it. So being able to sew paneled curtains, being able to sew throw pillows, that kind of stuff is just awesome because you can use fabric from anywhere, fabric that you've thrifted for $1. Like I made a whole slipcover one time from a duvet that I paid $1 for at a garage sale. So if you can do some simple upholstery and simple sewing, you've got a whole world that just opens up to you. There is a time to splurge. I think that it has to do with understanding your priorities in the space. Is there something that you hate? Something that makes you just feel poor every time you walk by it? Well, that might be something to take care of soon. If there's something that you hate and if there's something that you love and it's just something that you, especially if you've wanted it for like years, you know, try to get it done. If it's lighting, if it's a special bed frame, something that really, really speaks to you, I think that there's a time for it. Just make sure you can afford it. I think splurging is fine. There are things that I do splurge on, and those things are really special to me. I do try to think about how, if I have splurged on it, how easy is it for me to get out of this in the future? So if I've spent thousands of dollars on something, I'm going to have a crisis when I go to get rid of that because it no longer is in style. So be careful about your tipping point. Like in your mind go, okay, what if I wanted to get rid of this in 5 or 10 years? How would I feel about that? Is the price too high? So be careful with that. And then there's some other things that I just feel like quality is worth investing in. So for instance, fabric, I think is really important. Fabric that you're touching, like curtains, not so much, unless they don't hang correctly or something, but like bedding, things that you spend 8 hours a day touching, those are worth investing in. Anything that has a good bang for the buck. So I said that in the previous question, I said that paint has a really good bang for your buck, but for instance, sometimes I'll want to do a space and I want an accent wall. One of my favorite types of accent walls is a great wallpaper. And wallpaper, really nice wallpaper, can be like $100, $130 a roll if you're looking at like Milton and King or Anthropologie or something. But if you're just gonna do a small space, you could probably spend $250 on a wall. I don't think that's unreasonable. So that's another time to splurge, is when you can just get away with a small quantity of something like super rich and beautiful. All right, so hope that answered your questions. So these are the kinds of things I teach in my design school. It's called Behind the Scenes. It is my design school, and we tackle this kind of stuff every month, and it starts to become second nature for you. So hopefully you can join us.